Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association MTK Global. I'm joined by, for the first time this year, Mr. Mark Tibbs. And do you want to introduce Steve as well, your assistant coach down here?
Happy New Year, Umar. Yeah, this is Stephen Andrews. He's doing a fantastic job. He's worked with me for probably 2 years almost, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, about
2 years, and he knows the game. He's been around the Peacock Gym for a considerable amount of time, and him and his father, but mainly Steve, he's done some good work with me and for me, yeah, in the young prospects, bringing them along as well.
Steve, as well, first time on IFL Believe. Do you just want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I've sort of been fighting all my life really, since I was like 5 years old, different things and that, and then started boxing. My brother-in-law was boxing, that's how I ended up meeting Mark, because he was going to fight under Mark. And then he moved on to Brian Lawrence, and I fought under Brian Lawrence myself. And then bumped into Mark again up at Peacock. He said he needed a bit of help with some of the boys and everything, and I jumped in, and it's been going ever since then, really, helping all the young prospects out and working through. We've been doing well, haven't we? Been going good, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good young prospects in here, which we'll talk about. But of course, two-weight world champion Billy Joe Saunders has been plugging away. He says he's ready for kind of a February date, a big fight. It's got to be the big fights from this year, hasn't it, Mark?
100%. He's well, we hooked up a couple of months, 4 months ago, and his passion, his drive, and his hunger for the sport is even more than it always was when my dad looked. You know, when my dad trained and coached him. So yeah, he's maturer now. He's got a strength about him, that man strength about him, and he's always been cute and clever. And now I think, I don't think, I know he's ready. If he ain't ready now, he never will. Yeah.
I mean, with Billy, fans of him, like myself and loads around the country and in the world, very frustrating because the fights that he has been in, the big fights, the Andy Lees, David Lemieux, he looked $1 million, and we know Billy can produce that. But it's just been landing that big elite fight, your Canelo, your Golovkin. It's never happened. I think we're as close ever, perhaps. Is that a fair comment, to landing that Canelo fight for May?
Definitely, 100%. I mean, they're all talking about him now, and Canelo's just done come off a good fight with Callum Smith and looked good. And Billy Joe's a world champion also. So it's a no-brainer. It's something that's, on the horizon, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
Steve, what have you kind of made of the work that Billy and Mark have been doing? I'm sure you've had a keen eye on it.
Yeah, they work really well together. It's actually quite enjoyable for me as a young trainer, as I'm still learning my trade, just watching them bounce off of each other, like, coming up with little ideas, changing things, like actually working together and bouncing off of each other. And it's taught me a lot, just sitting on the side, just watching them. So it's been really enjoyable.
In your opinion, Mark, why does Billy Joe Saunders beat Canelo Alvarez? Outline it for me.
Well, Billy Joe Saunders, he's got a brain of a Floyd Mayweather, yeah, and he needs to get that shoulder round and does what he does best, is boxing, outfoxing, and it's going to be a game of wits. But when it's time to get down and dirty, he can have it on the inside. Billy Joe, he's strong as a bull, and he's very clever. And if anyone's going to beat Billy Joe Saunders in the world today, beat Canelo Alvarez today, is Billy Joe Saunders. But if anyone's going to beat Billy Joe Saunders, it is Billy Joe Saunders, if you get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you mean. I think a lot of people watching will know what you mean as well.
But no, Billy Joe, ever since I hooked up, I knew Billy. I worked as an assistant with my dad when Billy was 17, 18, when he turned professional. He's always been a hard grafter, a diligent worker. But, and he's in the pain barriers he's hit over the years. And, he's just he comes up with things, but he's got to tune into that ring craft now, more so, that ring craft, that in and out stuff. And he knows how to go about a fight, and he understands. It's brilliant working with him in the corner in the evenings, on the night of the fight. He's cracking to work with. He's calm. He's just a pleasure to work with. Pleasure to work with. Instructions, follows them, does them. I don't know if he believes him or not, but he doesn't. And sometimes we switch. No, you know what I mean. He can adapt. That's what I'm trying to say. He can adapt. If we change things up, we have to change things up. He adapts. Boom, he works it out. Yeah, it's good.
Is it a fair comment to say that Billy Joe Saunders is a bad style for Canelo Alvarez?
He's a what?
It's a bad style for him.
For sure, he's got all the movement. He's got all the movement, Billy Joe, and he's going to need it. He's got all the movement that wouldn't suit Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Canelo Alvarez likes to stand there with you, likes to pin you down and bully you and go up and down. But you've got to look at the Floyd Mayweather blueprint and not mimic him, but take something from that. And I know it was a long time ago, but Billy Joe Saunders is a fantastic mover and fantastic boxer, and I really believe that this time now he's going to be a complete fighter in these big fights. For sure.
Let's hope so. In terms of the other guys in the gym, let's start with heavyweight Johnny Fisher, set to make his pro debut soon. A bright future, you think, in the heavyweight division for Johnny?
Definitely got a bright future, John. He's a big puncher, but more than that, he actually listens to what you're saying and learns and picks things up straight away. So he's a pleasure to work with. So I do think he's got a bright future, definitely.
Mark, would you say the same?
Yeah, he's enthusiastic, Johnny. He's enthusiastic. He's got loads of energy. He's very agile. A big puncher, as Steve says, and he's a pleasure to work with because he listens and he delivers. But obviously, he's at the beginning. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I do know what you mean. But he hasn't made his pro debut yet. Mark, it seems like I've just walked in today, and it seems like all these fighters you'd have thought have been in here for 2 or 3 years, really. I mean, Louis Edmondson has been a few months. Yeah. James Hawley, again, has been the longest, I believe, here. Billy recent, John Hedges recent, Johnny Fisher recent. It seems like a really comfortable environment where they're going to be doing their best work because it is so relaxed, but serious, but it is so relaxed in here. Would you say that's accurate? Yeah,
well, coming back after Christmas and the New Year, we've been in every other day, following the government's guidelines, etc. But next week, we'll me and Bill are going full time. We're going to pick things up a little bit, you know what I mean? And then, what was you saying?
So a lot of new guys that you've linked up, because of course your old stable, it's completely changed in quite a quick time. And you've got, I said the 2 Johns are very new, even Billy's recent, but it seems...
See Louis Edmondson, years ago, Steve, about 7 years ago, I think, Louis Edmondson got in contact with me through someone. I don't know who it was now, but I had him down at West Ham for a week, Louis, And I was training Tom Baker at the time for a Southern area or an English title, super middle or light heavy. He won both of them, Tom Baker did. Yeah. But anyway, he wanted to turn pro, Louis Edmonds. Is it Edmondson or Edmonds?
Edmondson, I believe. But I know Billy calls me Edmonds as well.
Well, Louis, lovely fella, but he come down. And he had a week with me, and I put him up somewhere. One of my mates looked after him, and he trained every day at West Ham. And do you know what? He was a very, very good talent then. Yeah, good talent, but he was a bit too young, a bit early. And when I started working back with Billy Joe again, Billy Joe said, "Mark, I've got a kid." He said, "Louis Edmondson, have a look at him and let me know what you think." I thought, I know that name, and then obviously Billy manages him and does his he's a good mentor to him, and he's really he's matured in them years. I asked him to go away. When I first bumped into him a couple of months ago, no, you was right, Mark. You told me to go away and either come back with some amateur titles or just give it a couple more years. And I think he's a star in the making, Louis Edmondson. I'm not just saying that. He's got something about him, and his game, he's clever, he's agile, he switches, and I like his interviews. I think he talks well.
No, he does.
He's honest, and
He wants a Zach Jelly fight, he told me today. That's a good fight.
oh, well done, brilliant. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'd fancy that with him. Yeah, for sure.
Another super middleweight as well, very more recent link up with yourself, John Hedges. Difficult pro debut, is that fair to say, Mark?
Do you know what? Sam Jones, his manager, got in contact with me before we went in the training camp with Billy Joe to Spain. And I says, Sam, listen, talk to me about it after the Billy Joe fight, you know what I mean? And he can come up for sure and we'll have a look at him. Because I heard about John, and but I still understand he's very, very young, 18, isn't he?
19, I believe.
19. So, you know, but there are people that are mature at that age and whatnot. But, you know, I just thought of myself turning pro at 18, 19. You know, I should have given it a couple of years, but, you know, everyone's different. Anyway, got us back from Spain, and Sam rings me up, and I was thinking, oh, mate, you know, he's young, it's a lot of work, this, that. But I said, no, send him up. I said, I'll do that, bring him up. So on the Monday, I'll see how he worked with instructions, with shadow boxing, and see how he was on the floor, strength-wise. On the Wednesday, I've done a bit of pads with him, and same again, see how he worked on instructions. On the Thursday, I spoke to Billy Joe. I said, Billy Joe, is Louis Edmondson about for Friday? I ain't going to mess about with Johnny. What's his second name, Johnny?
Hedges.
Johnny Hedges, sorry, excuse me. It's been a long week. Right, I said, I ain't going to mess about with Johnny Hedges. I'm putting him in sparring. Yeah, he said, put him in with Louis. So Louis come up, game as a Bible, Louis, bouncing around. He's got all the energy. And Johnny Hedges really, really, really impressed me. And on his last round, he done a round extra because Hawley was meant to do something, and Hawley was too late putting his gloves on. So I said, crack on, John. He was doing that good, John Hedges. So I said, Johnny, last round, mate, keep doing what you're doing. And I was tweaking him in the corner, vocally, in front of everyone, and he was lovely. So I thought, he's got it all, but it's all experience from now on, and it's guidance and experience. And he's a very, very good kid to train, to bring on. And if you want to work with good prospects, he's got all the attributes. You know what I mean? And I said, right, when he come back after the last round, I said, well done, John. It's going to be a pleasure working with you, because I didn't know really if I was going to work with him or not. But yeah, so no. But I looked up at him, 6'5" he is.
Massive super middleweight. Well, as I said, he had a difficult pro debut. He's then linked up after with you. What do you think about that first fight that John had, and how much do you think he can achieve in the sport?
Well, listen, it was his first fight. Listen, it's his first 4-round fight, and I actually watched it. I watched it the day before he come up here, to tell you the truth. I heard all about it. I did watch it on the night on the TV. I watched it on the night. I watched one round, and I thought, I know how this is going to go. And I didn't bother watching anymore, you know. Going to be honest, that's what I did. And then I was surprised to a lot of people moaning about the fight, moaning about it. And then I had a look at it before he come up here, and I thought, what's everyone moaning about? It's his first fight, 4 rounds, man. You know what I mean? I thought he won it. You know, I thought he won it. And yeah, so no, it's his first fight, 4 rounds, 19 years old. He's learning. Do you
think he can go far, John?
Yeah, I think he's got everything that you can build on to make him what he can be, isn't it? And
experience.
Just experience, everything in its strength, everything, guidance.
For instance, sorry to cut you in there, Steve. For instance, Louis Edmondson, 8 fights in, or something like that he is, but he's 25, right? 25. He's a bit rugged, he's a bit of a box fighter, a bit elusive, but he's rough on the inside as well. He'd give it to Edges up here. I was a little bit on it myself, and you know, it got a bit. It was a bit of fun in here that day. You was here, weren't you?
Yeah.
Billy was here, and but he gave as good as he got, and I like that in the in the nicest possible way. He gave as good as he got, and they was all gentlemen. It's lovely. They were going to work Friday together, all of them. Yeah.
And last one, better not forget James Hawley. he's talking like he's got a big 2021 in front of him. Do you believe he has?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, another one naturally talented, isn't it? Like, you see him in the ring sometimes and people can't land a glove on him. Good movement, isn't it? And it's, again, everything to build on from there, isn't it? He's definitely a good talent to watch out for. And he's a pleasure to watch when he's in the ring, the way he moves and everything. He's a real crowd pleaser, so I do think he's going to do well.
Do you want to add to that, Mark, about James?
Yeah, James is a bit disappointing. What's happened with him and his management, but listen, he's picked himself up. I've took him out to Spain to. I didn't really need him, but I said he wanted to come. I said, all right, you can break Billy in. Billy gave him a bit of a belt in the first week. I thought that serves you right, right, with the nicest possible way. No, they don't. He passed a good test there, James Hawley, and. But he's young as well. But listen, he's like Steve says, he's nice and natural. He's really a good boxer, as Atmans. He just needs a bit of discipline, a bit of guiding, and he needs support and a promoter to get behind him, and he's going to be a good fighter. And if he can get, talking long term now, domestically, if you can get out the domestic scene, then you're on the way to earn some good money. But he's got to start winning some area titles, some area titles, and a couple of little belts like that. And I'm confident with him. He's got an air of confidence about him, where he don't need his hand held. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I like that about him. Yeah, for sure. I like him. He's a boxer. He's got to stick to boxing. He ain't an hitter, one punch knockout artist. Yeah. So he's got to get that title out of his head and keep it real, and those knockouts will come. You know what I mean? Once he learns how to work people out a bit more better and control the emotional side of himself. I like James. Yeah, I like him.
Listen, Mark, Steve, thank you very much for having me down at Origin Gym here in Rainham. Listen, we've all the lads you have down here, wish them a massive 2021. Yeah. Wish you a good 2021, and yourself, Steve. And is there anything you'd like to add before we go? I see a West One T-shirt there. Do you want to just talk to us about that?
West One has been my loyal supporter. He's a friend of mine, Mr. Dean Sumner. He's been a loyal supporter of the gym and West Ham back when we had West Ham, and he gets involved with myself, Tibbs Boxing.
That's the place to be. Yeah. Well, listen, as I said, have a good 2021 and we'll catch up soon, all right?
Thanks, UMAR. All the best, mate. Top man.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.